Hey, everybody. Welcome. Thank you for joining us today. I know that you have very busy lives going on right now, so I appreciate your taking a little extra time to spend it with me today. I am home for a couple more days, and actually heading off to Crete on Saturday or Sunday this week for a couple of weeks. I'll be in Greece. So continuing our musical world trip. I'm just saying all of that just completely to rub it in on all of you who I'm sure are back in the classroom. We go on we do workshops all summer long. So this is a kind of our time of year to kind of take a break. And I'll let you in on a clue on that. I have friends, this is so ridiculous, friends who got married and are taking me on their honeymoon. Now, how weird is that? Not just me. They're taking about 12 people on their honeymoon to Crete. So that's where I'm going to be next week. So I will not be with you. But musical world is my favorite, probably my favorite part of it. When we did Music Express, used to do Music Express. I always loved our Musical Planet. And I wanted to keep that going when we started JJ and Me, because for a lot of reasons, but I just think that kids learning more and more about the kids like themselves around the world and how different people live and what their habits are and what their lives are like is just so important for kids to be able to do and open their eyes to the possibility of travel and adventure, and to do it through music and all of that, I think is just really a wonderful way to introduce them to a wider, brighter world. So we continue to do a lot on Musicplay. And when I say Musicplay, JJ and me, it's all the same. We're all one big happy family here. And so I just want to kind of take you through some of what is there on our musical world, and maybe show you how you might use it a little bit more effectively, and talk to you a little bit about things that are coming up on that regard and all that. So I've got Jason with me, who's going to share his screen with you as we go through this. And if any of you have questions or comments or anything like that, you can type them in or whatever, and I'll be happy to jump to it. And then at the end of this, I'll go for a little half an hour or so here, and then we'll have time for question and answer if you want to. But most of you know Musicplay Online, the whole path to getting to find things. I'll just show you that for me and all the things that I've worked, my contribution to the Musicplay Online thing, you get to the starting page, which looks like this. And then any one of the contributors, you just find their picture. I find this the easiest way is just like if you just click on my picture, and Jason's going to do that right now, then it opens up almost anything that would have my name on it. But see these tabs about featured content? Those featured content would be, you see it, Songs of America, Songs of the World, Broadway songs. And then right there, third one over is It's a Musical World. So if you click on that, it's going to open this. And this is going to be all your units, your musical world units. And so you can do it either like this, or if you want to display it by a list, you can go up there to where it says display as. If you don't like these colorful things up there, you display as, and it'll list it like this, just alphabetically. And you can see we've got quite a few countries up there already, and we'll be adding a few more pretty soon. Let's go back to the other view. I just like it better because it's colorful and it gives me a sense of what's going on. And what you're going to do, I thought, we're not going to do a whole bunch of this today, but I thought maybe let's start with one song. Here's one from Tanzania that I really like. And I thought because of the nature of this webinar today, I would sort of spend most of my time on dances, games, things that you can do by yourself. Since most of you probably don't have a dance partner there in your office or wherever you are, there are a lot of these folk songs which are obviously meant to be with couples or in circles or in double circles or in squares. Here's one that you can do all by yourself. Most of them, I try to get it down to where it's just 2 or 3 steps for the whole routine, and you can do it. So if you want to stand up and do it with me, you don't have to, but you can imagine. I'm going to get back as far as I can here and try to show you these steps. There's 3 steps you're going to learn. The first one is just heel, heel, and slide, and heel, heel, slide, and heel, heel, slide, heel, heel, slide. It's really easy, and we do it a bunch of times, okay? That's step number 1. Step number 2, I'll just kind of call it like a choo-choo train step, where you step forward with one foot forward and back, and forward and back. But I'm going to turn my body sideways like this. And don't worry if you're doing left foot, right foot. That's step number 2. Let's review. Here's step number 1, heel, heel, slide, heel, heel, slide, heel, heel, slide, heel, heel. Step number 2, step forward and back. See how one foot's doing all the work? Back and forward. And here's the 3rd step. I call this my Les Mis step. You just step apart, together, forward apart, and back together. You know, Les Mis, like, can you hear the people sing, singing the song? That's the entire 3 steps for this Tanzanian song. And the song is all about beautiful flowers. So now what you would do, you're all looking at me like I'm crazy. Okay, well, the deal is this. Whenever you go to one of these countries, you'll look down the list here a little bit and you'll see all the different elements, but one of the elements is going to be me teaching, just like I did with you right there. It says teaching choreography, and I will generally take 5 to 8 minutes or something like that to slowly teach your kids those 3 steps, for instance, that I just did. Then once they've learned it, I would go to the full choreography video, which is right next to it, click on that, and you could put this up on your screen, and you can just sit in the back of the room and let the kids dance along with me. Or if you want to dance along with me right now, you can. Let's play one of those, and everybody could jump around and dance if you'd like. Here goes the full choreography video for Maua, Missouri from Tanzania. The heel, 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 slide. Keep that going. Little choo-choo. And Les Mis. Like the beginning. Keep that going, and now we sing in English.
All of the flowers are beautiful. All of the flowers are beautiful.
Choo-choo.
When you look at them, they shimmer. When you look at
Les
them,
Mis, step forward.
every little flower is beautiful.
Now walk in a circle with your friends. Reverse the circle. Now, like before, repeat the steps you did with the heels. Again. Choo-choo in the circle. Forward. And break apart. Go back to your original places. And we break apart and sing. Here's the choo-choo. Okay. I know it feels kind of crazy, but what I wanted to sort of show you about that, when I got in a circle there, they're doing the same steps as they did before, but they're just doing it, holding hands in a circle. It's exactly the same steps. But I thought Tanzania was a good place where I could sort of show you all the different elements that are in every one of these units. If you go back to the top of the page here, right here, you'll see just a little translation about what the song is about. Beautiful flower, looks so pretty. And you can click on, I like this extra resources part here. For instance, the extra resources part, you'd click on the Tanzania listening guide sheet, and up will come a sheet. And this is just for, you could run this off or you could have it up on the board. This is to help them listen to when we start doing the travelogue part of this. So like, what is the highest mountain in Africa? What oceans touch Tanzania? That whole kind of way, all these different questions. And the way you're going to use this is that, they're all interactive. You can fill them up right there. Is that, go back, Jason, to the, where we're looking at the travelogue video. So every one of these countries, I do sort of a little Rick Steves travelogue video. And so you would get these kids this sheet on Tanzania. Then you go to this video down here where it says Travelogue, and Jason will click on that. And you can, and they usually last like, again, maybe like 8 minutes or so. And it's going to teach them about this Tanzania. Well, watch a little bit of it just so you see what we're talking about. Jason's just jumping forward a little bit just to show you more.
It stands 19,341 feet tall, which makes it the tallest mountain in Africa. It took me an entire week to make the climb up and down again, and I assure you, it was not an easy trek. By the time you get to the top, your head is pounding from the thin air. Traditional dance they call Mitamba Yalagala Kunchizi, with music performed on tuned goblets, tuned cylinder. Influenced by the music of Latin America, mixed with their own African sounds.
You get the idea. So, like I said, that one was about 9.5 minutes long, and all of those questions on that sheet that you had will be answered in that video. And so you would give them that worksheet, and we'll give you the answer guide in case you missed something. We'll give you that. And here's kind of a cool thing too. Look at this musical passport up here. This is, a lot of people are using this. I mean, it seems so like a really basic thing, but you can print these out and give them to each one of your students, and they have their own musical passport. And as you study or sing a song or watch a video from any one of these countries, they can either color in the countries, like they've been there, like they've studied it, or you can even off Amazon, you can get like little cutout pieces that are shaped like the country you could put on there, or little passport stamps. I know somebody who travels all over the world, and they do a little flag from that country that you can get, these little sticker flags, and they put those around the map of places they've been. It's a way of kids kind of trying to fill up their own little passport and getting motivated to go through all the countries that we represent here. So it's kind of a neat little thing to add, a little interest for your kids. Going back again to the so that was the video, that was the travel, and every one of these countries that we're going to have is going to have that little video. Now here are the actual musical parts of it. You see, first of all, the audio, right? You're going to see Mauro, Missouri with the vocals. And so those vocals, it's basically just a demo recording of it, so your kids can sing along with it. Then you've got where it says Maori, Missouri accompaniment. You can open that one, Jason, just the old accompaniment. Oh, okay. All right. Well, this one would be something you would project. This would be notation with accompaniment. And so this is what you could put up on your whiteboard or your screen and have the kids sing along. Listen to this a little bit. There's no voices on that track. So that would be sort of once the kids have sort of learned it. Go back one more time, Jason. I want them to see the one where right above that, where it's just not a video. That one there, yeah. Show them that. Because this one is going to be your tracks. And over here, you can see this would be a downloadable track. See this little mark there where he's pointing? That means that this track is downloadable. So it's an accompaniment track. So that for a performance situation, you could download this accompaniment and actually perform the song. Okay, so just wanted to show you where that was, and that's going to be for every song. All right, going back again. Here we have. So then you saw the notation with the vocals, and you saw the notation with just accompaniment. With the vocals, it would have had the singing on there. Okay, now for the younger kids, and I think like this song, singing about flowers and just those 3 little dance steps, might work good for your younger kids. But here you have a video with lyrics with vocals. Again, it would look a little bit like this. So no notation.
Maua mazuri yapendeza, maua mazuri yapendeza, ukiyatazama yanameremeta, hakuna limoja lisilopendeza.
All right. And so we highlight them so to help them with their tracking and all that. So fine. And every song is going to have that. And obviously the lyrics with just the accompaniment will not have the voices on there. Then you see the next one is the teaching choreography. That's where I break it down, go slowly. And then full choreography was the one you already watched, where we actually do the dance. Okay. Then there's some more resources. There's going to be song activities for each one of these. Like this one, if you open it up there, you'll see these are some more. If you want to expand the lesson, here's a lesson plan for you, teaching ideas. Most of the songs are going to have some ideas like this, which you can just sort of, hand to your principal and say, here's my lesson plan for the month. Now leave me alone, kind of thing. It's got all of those. So that's where you're going to find these kinds of things. Okay. That's your lesson plan, song activities, basically. Okay, going back. Okay, and then if you want to do these things live, we're going to have the piano arrangement down here at the bottom. And what I wanted to point out about the piano arrangement is that it is also where you will have written out choreography notes. That's going to be just maybe for you to help remember it when you're in front of the class, if you're not using me as the demo and you just need it. So or if you're doing this live with an accompanist, you could have both the piano part, the vocals, and the choreography notes on there. That's what that is on the piano arrangement. So if you get lost on that. All right. Then going back again, we have a vocal arrangement. Many of these songs we're going to give you, sometimes we just do a unison, but sometimes we will have written maybe a descant part or a two-part or something like that, and that's where you will find that vocal arrangement. Not every song, but if it's appropriate, we'll also have orchestrations. So on this one, we have an orff arrangement. So you could, if you're into orff and using those instruments, and it will directly correlate with the recording that you have. Sometimes I think, especially with these dance numbers, you're going to have some kids who just eat up doing the dance. You've got other kids who are going to want to play the instruments. You've got other kids who just want to stand and sing. I think having all these different elements will make it a wonderful way to include everybody doing some part of it that they love. So not every song is going to have these orff arrangements. The ones that it seemed to work well with, we include that. Okay. Then I love these. Danae, our wonderful friend here at Musicplay Online, has done these concept slides. Like this one is about the song. So this one, it lasts 1 minute and 57 seconds. You can listen to the song, and as they're listening to it, the kids are learning about, well, where is Tanzania? What's this song about? What kind of dances do they do? It kind of reinforces what you saw in the travelogue, but it might be more about the song and the music and all of that. So it's a way of, you just listen to it and you go, and you can learn about the song and the dance and the people who have inspired it. Where is Tanzania and East Africa? That kind of thing. That's what those concept slides are about. Okay. And finally, we have more projectables and lyrics and notation. So I think you get the idea. Well, I guess I wanted to go through each element of that because I wanted you to see that every single one of these units has one of these. And then the other thing that we've done is I wrote a script in which if you can take any one of these, say if you wanted to do a program, and you wanted to use, say, 6 or 8 of these songs from around the country, I wrote a script that will sort of tie them all together. And there's room in the script for the kids to add their own commentary, or you can rearrange the songs, and they're really just setups to the different songs in the different countries. So if we've got 20 countries in there and you want to just choose the 8 that you like, and that script will be up soon. Before the end of the year, you will have our Musical World script. So start learning some songs. And if you want to put it together for a little spring program or something, you could. So then to tie it all together, we wrote a little song called It's a Musical World. And I want to show you quickly how to find this theme song. So if you're going to do a program and you want to call it Musical World, you can use this song. I would do it this way to start with. Just go to the search area up there on the top. So you're back to the front page. This is where you first came on. Whenever you want to get back to this page, just go to the Discover tab up there. You press that Discover tab. Here's where you're going to get to. Then you go up into search and just type in, "It's a Musical World," or "It's a Mystical World," or "It's a Miserable World." And if you do "It's a Musical World," up will come a bunch of these songs, but there's the theme song, "It's a Musical World." Why don't you click on that, Jason? And this one, this is an original song. So we're not going to do the Travelogue video, but let's go to where we have the notation with the vocals, demo vocals. And I'll show you, and let's just sing a little bit of this, "It's a Musical World" together, and you'll get the idea of why this is sort of your theme.
It's a musical world. It's a marvelous musical world. Let's all live in harmony in this marvelous musical world. Sing a song of summer, autumn, winter, spring. Every single season makes me want to sing. It's a musical world. It's a marvelous musical world. Let's all live in harmony in this marvelous musical world. All around the planet, feel the rhythm grow. People making music everywhere we go. It's a musical world. It's a marvelous musical world. Let's all live in harmony in this marvelous musical world. It's a musical world. It's a marvelous musical world. Let's all live in harmony in this marvelous musical world. In this marvelous music, in this marvelous music, in this marvelous musical world. It's a marvelous musical world.
All right. So, well, if I were doing it, I would use that as your opening song and your closing song. Start your program with it, end the program with it. Although you could also, of course, do "It's a Small World" somewhere in there, and the kids already know it someplace. But anyway, that's the way we wrote that for it. And again, I'll just reiterate that we'll have a little script for you by the end of the year. So another way of presenting these songs, I think, to your kids would be to have, if you had a bunch of them learn the music parts of it, you could have, if you do it for a program, have every class do one song. Like the first graders might do, the Grün 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 song from Germany, because it's really simple. In fact, why don't we jump to that, Jason? And then, and everybody could sing all the songs, and then just feature one of your classes out there doing the song or game that goes along with it. So now we went back to Discover. We're going to click on my picture again, and we're going to get to "It's a Musical World." And you can sort of decide, you can go through these at your leisure and see which ones seem to fit. In Germany, I thought the Germany one was kind of good for your littler kids. It's called Grün Grün Grün, and basically they learn this song in Germany to learn the colors of to learn all the different colors. And so here, let's just watch the full choreography one. I think you'll get a sense of the song. You can dance along if you like. It's really simple.
Here's the slap dance.
Grün, grün, grün sind alle meine Kleider. Grün, grün, grün ist alles, was ich hab.
Green, that's why
I love everything green, because my beloved
is a hunter.
Rot, rot, rot sind
See? about red now.
Kleider. Rot, rot, rot ist alles, was ich hab. That's why I love
Everything red, because my beloved is a firefighter.
Blau, blau, blau sind
Singing about
alle
blue.
meine Kleider. Blau, blau, blau ist alles, was ich hab. That's why I love
Everything blue
because my beloved
is a sailor. One more.
Weiß, weiß, weiß sind alle meine Kleider. Weiß, weiß, weiß.
I love everything white. Lean.
Because my
Grab your stomach.
beloved is a baker.
Ha!
Grün, grün, grün sind alle meine Kleider. Grün, grün, grün ist alles,
Clap once
was
more.
ich hab.
So, and I wanted to show you too that whenever I could, or if it seemed, it's not the easiest chore in the world actually for me to actually get kids to be on some of the videos, but sometimes it is possible. And so some of them, it's fun for the kids to watch other kids performing it. For instance, if we go back to the France, if we go to the country of France, so you're going to click back and to our bookmark that we've got, right back to here, and we go to France. So he's going to click on my picture. It's a musical world. We go to France. And I like, this is a beautiful, cute little song called The Lark is on the Branch. And watch these little kids doing it. And your little kids, I think, could go right along with it.
Walk in a circle around yourself. Now step, touch, and flap.
The lark is on the branch. The lark is on the branch.
Here we go.
Jump a little, 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 jump like a little lark should.
Circle. Back row, come forward and link elbows.
Link arms with your neighbors. Link arms with your
And drop hands and back to your places.
Jump a little, jump a little,
Jump a little, jump.
a little,
Jump a little,
jump like a little lark should.
Walk in a circle. Go.
Try giving
3 dance steps.
us 3 dance steps.
1, 2, 3.
Try giving us 3 dance steps.
1, 2, 3.
Jump a little, jump a little, jump a little, jump a little,
Jump a little, jump.
like as little lark should.
Circle. And the last verse, we bow before our neighbor.
Bow before your neighbor. Bow before your neighbor.
Smile.
Jump a little, jump a little,
Jump a little, jump.
a little,
Jump a little, jump.
like as little lark should.
3 times. Everybody smile.
Well, I don't know about you, but mine was running a little slow there. Was everybody else's? It was a little behind. So I'm sure you love seeing that. It's a little cuter when they're actually jumping when you're supposed to be jumping. Anyway, that's fine. Hey, next one I was going to do with you, it's called, this is from Nigeria, and it's called Esumbum Kawaya. And actually, and this one you're supposed to have 2 like dowling rods or 2 sticks to hold. If you have to, even if you're sitting at your desk right now, just grab like 2 pencils or 2 pens or anything like that. Because I did it with big, you'll see in the video, I did it with big fat dowling rods because they make a nice big clunk when you beat them on the ground. And so the idea is only, again, it's like 2 steps, 2 different things. Usually you're sitting or kneeling on the floor when you do this. And so Jason, can you show me so that I can teach it to him quickly here? I'm going to go, all we're going to do, okay, well, I guess we can look at it that way too. I don't know, maybe you can see me. Yeah, there we go. I'm going to go click, click.
Pattern 1.
Esumbum kawaya kedukadi. Esumbum kawaya
Pattern 2.
kedukadi. Kedukadi.
3. Pattern 1. And repeat everything. Pattern 1. Pattern 1 again. One more time. Pattern 2. Pattern 3. Pattern 1. Pattern 1 again. Pattern 2. And 3. 1. Pattern 3. 1.
Yeah, that was a really fun one, and it's a great one for a performance opportunity. The parents just love it because of that big clunking. It's very visual as well. When it's appropriate, and you can see here, we have our good friend, Mr. Frank. When we get a song like that, we've also included in lots of these musical world songs, bucket drumming. And Mr. Frank is this very charismatic and very accomplished music teacher from the Philadelphia area. And he comes on and will teach a simple bucket drumming for your kids. And he's done it for most of them. He's done it at 2 different levels. So he'll do a real simple version we think it's kind of for the K2s, and then we do a little bit more complicated, maybe for the 3-5s. Jason, could we just show just a little bit of Mr. Frank, just to kind of get a sense of his teaching technique?
Very good. So if you're ready to bucket drum, grab your sticks and your bucket and let's play. We're going to learn 2 patterns today, and they're going to use the middle, edge, and side of the bucket. So let's learn the first pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do it with me. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice that when I'm saying 3 and 4, I'm using both sticks at the same time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very good. Let's keep the pattern going. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very good. Keep it going now. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2,
All right.
3, 4. 1, 2.
I get it. Mine's running a little behind here, so it's a little odd to look at. But he's really an excellent, great teacher, and you'll notice then that when we put it with the music, that you could have some kids in the front doing that stick routine, and others playing bucket drums along the sides, and others singing, and I think it could be a real showstopper production number if you decide you want to do it for a program of some sort. Let's take a look at one called this is one from Malaysia called Rasa Sayang, and look how Jason can just stroll through that and go right to Asia. I bring this one up because I wanted to sort of confess to all of you as to how I came about most of these songs. And because I know it's a little touchy these days to be just pretending that you know that these are actual songs and actual dances and games. Every song that we have included, at least so far in all of this musical world business, has been a song that has been taught to me by somebody from that culture. Or when I visited that country, I learned it from them there. This one is this Rasa Sayang is kind of an interesting story because many years ago, when I was a young man, I was singing and dancing for Disney World, and I went on a tour promoting Tokyo Disneyland all over Southeast Asia. And we ended up in Malaysia, in Kuala Lumpur, and we're in this hotel, and we were doing our Disney show, Mickey Mouse ears and Mickey on our shirts and all this very Disney thing. Well, in the next room over was this Malaysian group that was doing sort of a burlesque show from doing some of their music. We had more clothes on than they had on, but we were both in the same hotel for a couple of weeks, actually. So we got to be good friends with them, and they taught me this song. And they taught me this really simple. So in a way, I think this is a little bit more of a performance kind of song. I'm not so sure how much folk music this is. The song is definitely Malaysia, but this was a song that they were performing a similar version to it when we did that. And so here's a little Rasa Sayang. Let's show a little bit of the full performance, and you can stand up and dance if you'd like. It's a living, folks. Anyway, I did want to point out a couple of them because I think now you're moving into fall. If you're looking for anything to do for the holidays, there are a couple of songs in our musical world that work great for Christmas. One of them would be the one from, this is Velo Que Bonita. That's a Colombian song, and it's about Christmas. So if you're looking for something to do for the holidays, this one from Colombia works great for that. Another one that I really like is, I don't know if you saw the Olympics. So this one's exactly a folk song, but it does come from China. From China at the Olympics, they did that beautiful song, Snowflakes, which was so overly produced. But this one, it's a beautiful song. And look how easy it would be to stage it. All I did, put on the full choreography one there for a second there, but all I did was we pretended to be making snowflakes as we sang the song. So the kids had folded up the paper and they each had scissors. Now we cheated a little bit. We made the snowflakes, then folded them up again. And then while we were singing this song, we were just pretending to actually make the snowflakes. But then watch what happens halfway through the song. So just scoot forward a little bit, play a little bit. So the first half of the song, we're just going to be making our snowflakes.
And after the second verse, I'm getting very close to, we're going to reveal pretty soon. So we're still cutting. But now I'd probably set my scissors down. And we're getting ready. We don't show it to him yet. We're just singing. Maybe we gently sway if we want to. Now, when we get to right here, we start opening up our snowflakes. I hope I did it right. And we're singing. And now we're going to show it to the audience. Show them our snowflakes. And now swing them. Left and right. Back and forth like this. Now a big circle. And back in front of you again. And swing them again. Sway to the left. Right. Left. Right. Big circle. Up and over. Keep it in front of you. We're going to make one more circle. And now lift them slowly up and shake your snowflakes. Shimmy, 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 shimmy snowflakes. And keep it going. Big smiles like a big blizzard.
Anyway, it's hey, it can be visually fun and beautiful, and it's a lovely song. So if you look for something for the holidays, you can include a Chinese song in there if you want to. Again, getting back to our discussion a little bit about where do we find these songs and who has the right to tell the story, because I think it's become quite a topic of conversation in our country over the last 10 years or so about who really should be teaching these stories and these songs from different cultures. And I would absolutely encourage you, if you possibly can, if you have somebody in your community who can come in and help you, who maybe has ancestry from this from some certain country that could come in and teach a folk dance. Or I know in my hometown in Wisconsin, there were lots of Norwegians who could have come in and taught us from their heritage a Norwegian folk dance. In the town over, there were a lot of people from Poland, and they could teach you a Polish folk dance. So if you ever can bring somebody in, fantastic. That's not always possible. So I think when I was having this conversation with Susan Aglukark, Susan is a fantastic First Nations musician and composer and performer from Canada. And she wrote this song that I've always loved. I've loved it for years and years and years, called OCM. And I had we were able to contact Susan, and she allowed us to use this song. And she taught me some moves, some little sort of almost sign language to this song. And so I did a little interview with her, and so some of these songs, we will have a little interview with somebody who maybe had something to do with the song or the folk dance or whatever. I spoke to Susan about this, and I asked her that very question about who has the right to teach, especially for a Native American song or a First Nation song, or who has the right to teach this? And so listen to just, I think, kind of an interesting answer she came to that helped me feel better about myself. The interview goes on for about 20 minutes, but she's just fantastic. But halfway through, I asked her this right now, who has the right to tell a story? Who should tell the stories of First Nations people or Inuit people or any culture of people? Who has the right to tell the stories? And I know there's lots of talk about a term called cultural appropriation and all of that. I've often thought that songs like OCM are such a celebration of that culture, whoever might sing it. But how do you come down on that?
I believe that you get permission from the place that language originates from, that myth or that story originates from. I think it's very important to pay homage and respect the place, the original, where it's originally from, and grant permissions from them. I did that with OCM. I did that with Hinanaho. There's even a song that is a story from my family called Shamaya. And I went to my great uncle who shared his story for his permission to write that song, because it was his story. Mm-hmm. I think without those rules in place, we forget our histories, and they're very important histories in North America. So we must honor where these stories and languages come from. And we do that and it's a basic thing, just ask for permission. And then honor the decision. We have to honor the decisions that are made. For that reason, protecting our heritage, our culture, which are part of these incredible tapestries of North America, stay intact if we respect it. And I think that that's very important for us to always remember and to follow.
Well, then, this brings me to OCM. You were kind of, I think, so I can go a little quicker here. But you get the idea. And then she went ahead and taught me her movements to her song, OCM, and gave us permission for me to teach it then to you. And they're very simple. Do this with me, if you will. It's a beautiful song, and it would be a great concert piece as well. This is OCM, and she told me it was like a welcoming motion. It's like, come on in, you're all welcome. OCM, we are a family. You make like okay signs, and you go around and bring them together like this. So we got OCM, we are a family. Again, OCM, we're all, and she pushes her hands out to the side, we're all the same. We just bring them together like we are. Yeah. And then again, OCM, and the fires, the fires of freedom. And she pushes her hands out this way. So the fires of freedom burn, okay? Dance in the morning sun, burn in the morning sun. You just lift up the flames and burst up and over like that. Okay. So again, OCM, we are a family. OCM, we're all the same. OCM, the fires of freedom burn in the morning sun, and we burst. It's a little like that. Just listen to it, at least a little part of the song, and do it along with me. This would be the full choreography. Frozen.
Step touch. Take the hands of the people next to you. Stop stepping and lift your hands. And let go and let the walls come down. And again, inviting people in. We're all the same. Freedom, dance in burning flames.
I think you get.
Here's our step touch again.
Yeah, so a simple and great message, and I feel like it helps us sort of rationalize and justify doing other people's music. I am a strong believer that pretend is a really important part about learning. Kids have to pretend things, and they have to put themselves in other people's shoes at a time, and they become more understanding of other cultures when they do that. And I think Susan's admission to, asking permission when you get permission and respecting the decision is a really important one. So I just want you to know that I think about that every single time we choose one of these songs. I try to do as best I possibly can to get it from the source. So I don't take that part lightly, but I think it's absolutely worth the risk to introduce kids to this music from around the world, and through that, cultures and people who are different. By the end of the year, I think we have a song we're working on right now called "A Mile in My Shoes," and it's going to be about walking a mile in somebody else's shoes. That's how you That's how you learn and understand a little better. Okay, I want you to do one more, and then we're going to have question and answer if anybody has any questions about anything, because this one I can't do, and I'm hoping that some of you can. This one is called, let's see, it's learning all the different parts of your body, but it's in Senegal, and it's called Tan Loho No. And it's really funny because it's, well, you're supposed to point, I'll see if I can remember how to do that. Eyes, ears, nose, throat. What comes next? You'll get the idea. Here we go. See if you can do it with me on the live performance. This is a song from Senegal, learning all the body parts. And every kid in Senegal knows this song.
I keep hitting mute with my ear.
It's almost impossible, but the way to do it is to write the words up on the board in that order, and then it's much easier. So you're really just doing legs, arms, ears, eyes, nose, chin, throat, mouth. And it's really fun. The kids have a blast and laugh doing it the whole time. So I have a great niece who's Senegalese. One of my nieces married a Senegalese man. So I ended up with not only some pigment in our family, finally, but learning a dance from Senegal through the children there. So anyway, so that's it. There's tons of songs. There's tons of things. I've got a few moments. Brian, has anybody sent in any questions that I can specifically answer?
Yeah, there's a couple questions here. One was from Lydia. She mentioned that there's very fun activities or kids need to have the most fun. Most of the songs are in major. Are any in modes or minors?
That's a good question. Jason,
I can chime in here real fast.
Yeah,
and say that, yeah, The Lark is on the Branch was in minor. Our Greece song, Our Patchwork Boat, is in minor. The Lebanese song is in minor, which was... I can't think of the name of it. I have to click on it.
Yeah.
Tafta Hindi.
Tafta Hindi.
Yeah.
Yes. So there are some that are in minor. I don't think that there are any that necessarily in modes, but it's normally because most of these folk songs that we find are simplified down to major and minor keys as they are.
good question, though. It's interesting that like the Lebanese songs from the Middle East are really difficult, the folk songs. I actually, because so many of them are so many different meters, and the dance steps are so un-Western that for a guy like me, boy, I really had to work to come up with to learn the Lebanese one. And mostly also a lot of those cultures in the Middle East, it's the men who dance. And a lot of it is line dances with just the men dancing. And so trying to find something that was appropriate for everybody to go do was really something, but it was fun. And again, it's important, I think, for the kids to be introduced to that sound and that feeling of dancing in a different meter like that. And what else?
All right, this one is from Barb. Are there any songs for Holidays Around the World concert?
Holidays around. I wouldn't necessarily look. I mean, you could hear. I mentioned the Veo que Bonito, the one from Colombia, and I mentioned the China Snowflakes one. And those would be two. And then I would encourage you to look at our musical that we have. It's on Musicplay Online called Cold Snap, and that's a celebration of the different cultures surrounding the December holidays. It's one of those that covers Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, the Christian Christmas. It covers all of them in a musical called Cold Snap. I think those would be two, and you could easily incorporate some of these multicultural songs within that program.
And we just got one from Rebecca. I'm wondering what your expectations are for students to sing. Are students able to sing well while they're doing the choreography?
Well, that's a good question. Of course, I've been asked that question my entire career. So forever and ever, I've been asked that. My personal experience is that most of the times the kids actually sing better when they do movement, if the movement is designed appropriately. If it's the kind of movement that helps enhance the singing, helps them with a cutoff, helps them with a crescendo, helps them know the structure of the song better. I think that good, smart choreography, they will actually sing better. Now, I think a mistake a lot of people make is that they'll spend a whole bunch of time learning the song, and then a week before the performance, they want to throw some moves on it. I think that's a mistake. I think what you want to do is learn the song really solidly, and then learn whatever choreography or staging you want to do, and then you have to kind of relearn the song again once we're doing the choreography. By the time you get to a performance, you don't want them thinking about the movements. You want them thinking about making great music and communicating the story of the song. And so you got to get the choreography on them really soon. Because the kids who can do it really well, they don't mind doing it a million times. And the kids who takes them a little longer to get it, they'll have more time to actually learn it and become comfortable with it. But I would always say, work on it. And at some point, step back and go, is the choreography and staging really hurting the singing? Then I would start taking singing movement out of it. I would start just get rid of that move, get rid of that move, get rid of that move until you get back to where the music is solid, and then enhance it with some movement. But I think getting it out there early and learning it, and good, smart choreography, they will actually sing it better.
All right, and I think that might be it for questions right now. One person was asking about any additional fees for Around the Musical World repertoire, and there is no additional fees for that. It's all included in the Musicplay Online subscription.
Mm-hmm.
I guess if anyone has, go on, John.
I would add to that too. The thing about doing these programs, I think last time I did a webinar, it was about musicals and the musical programs. And I would encourage you to go look for those if you are interested in doing any programs. And what I'm excited about is that, we've already got, 10 of them up there, or 12 of them up there. They're never going away. And once you subscribe to Musicplay Online, you have the right to do those musicals, and you have the right to change them as much as you want to. And that goes for any of these songs too. And make them work for your kids. So if you need to make the dances simpler, or if you need, and what I would do with these folk song and things is, again, I'd have a crew of kids standing on the risers just singing, making sure the singing happens, and then get a small group down in front doing the dances to show them, and give everybody a turn to do that. That way you're covered on music and you're covered on the movement part of it. But the great news is that all this stuff is out there. When I used to write for another publishing company, we'd have a musical would be almost a couple $100, and just to buy the musical. Here you got 10 musicals right off the bat, 10 or 12, and we've got more coming all the time. So you have the rights to use them, and they're all there, and there's no extra fees for that.
All right.
Well, if somebody just came here, Marisa just showed up. Well, look, this video, as with all the webinars, is videoed, so you can take a look at it later and catch up on anything you might have missed today. But I just want to say thank you to all of you for what you do every single day, and I really appreciate your being interested in doing this multicultural around the world music. I think it's kind of my favorite thing, and I think it's important. So thanks for embracing it, and thanks for spending part of your day with me. See you, everybody.